Good afternoon, I'm Dwayne Carpenter, Sports Information Director here at West Virginia Wesleyan College, and joining me for the Men's and Women's Coaches Corner is Head Coach Mark Ziak. Mark, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Your swim teams opened up the season. They traveled to Allegheny College Friday night, and then they were at Cal Saturday.
Correct.
Now at Allegheny, your women came up just a little short, 111 to 77, and the men came up just a little short, 105 to 88. You want to talk about that opening meet?
Yeah, we faced a tough team. Allegheny is real strong, and last year we had a couple of close meets that came right down to the wire. And this year, men's meet was closer than the women's meet. In the first time out swimming for our squad, and we were able to see what they got after month and a half of training or so. And fortunately, we wound up on the wrong side of things. But we got a lot of good results as we were moving forward through our season.
Okay, then your team, without any rest, traveled over to Cal and competed Saturday morning as well. Before we get into the results, how difficult is that to go back to back like that?
Yeah, it is difficult. But one of the things we always look at as swim coaches is our conference meets 3 days long, and so they have to swim. Actually, it's 3.5. So Wednesday night through Saturday night, and it's 2 sessions both days. And so, us as coaches, we like these meets because it helps our kids understand that they need to swim fast on Friday night, then get up and do it again the next day. So that's why we schedule back-to-back meets like that. Being on the road does present additional challenges because they're not at their home pool, they're traveling, and they have to stay in a hotel. But I was happy with how the weekend turned out.
Okay, just to give the scores, Edinboro for the men was 112 to Wesleyan 90. Then on the women, it was Cal 58, Wesleyan 35, and Edinboro 70, Wesleyan 25. And looking past the scoring, the team scoring, were you happy with your overall times?
Yeah, Friday night the team did seem a bit, I think nervous first meeting. Again, some jitters, and they were a lot more relaxed on Saturday. And me and my assistant, we were talking, we were a lot more pleased with the results from Saturday. Particularly, like I was saying before, the back-to-back meets. There wasn't any fallout last year, where we had the back-to-backs to open up, and there was a big drop from Friday night to Saturday. We didn't see that this year, and we actually had some people who improved upon their times in the same events that they swam on Saturday. So that's good news as we move forward through the season.
That's always what you're looking for as a coach, and to see those times get down and down and down as the season progresses.
Right. Last year, I actually had a lot of people swim their fastest in that first meet, and we didn't see that again to the end of the year. And I'd rather see them get faster as the season progresses. So
now
one starting point.
Okay, one pool record was broken. It was your 200 freestyle relay team. Jeff Dye, Thomas Bartleman, Sam Connor, and Will Squires broke the pool record with a time of 1 minute and 29 seconds.
Yeah, that was surprising. Cal only has a women's team, so keeping track of men's times isn't their priority. And they handed us a sheet of the pool records, and I didn't even actually think about it until we were on the drive home. And I had to check back when I looked at home. And lo and behold, we did get a pool record. So it's always nice to see the Wesleyan swimmers, get their names out there, doing stuff like that.
Can I ask, how does that compare to Wesleyan's pool record? Or do you know?
You know what? That's a good question, because ever since I've gotten here, we don't actually have pool records on file. So that's something I would like to do, and I would have to go through. The unfortunate thing is I don't have a whole lot of archival results. So if I did do that, we'd probably have to start with the past 4 years and say since 2006. These are the pool records as we know them.
Okay. Coming up for your team, you swim November 7th. You go to Frostburg State. Could you talk a little bit about that? It's going to be a dual meet with Frostburg.
Yeah, a lot better competition for our team, and I'm hoping to get two victories on both sides coming up on Saturday. The interesting thing about Frostburg, they swim a 25-meter pool. Most every other pool is 25 yards. So the times are going to be a bit off in terms of how our swimmers can relate to them. But what I want to look for is the racing aspect. Can they get in there, race the person next to them from the opposition, and get first in the wall. And another nice thing about that meet is a former swimmer of ours is a graduate assistant at Frostburg State. Okay. So there's a bit of a, I don't want to say rivalry, but I want to beat them. So
going back to this past weekend, who had the standout performances for your men's and women's team? I know talking off camera before the interview, Jeff Dye was going to get nominated for Swimmer of the Week.
Yeah, he had a real good opening meet. He's won the 200 freestyle both days. His time from Friday night was faster than he went outside the conference meet of last year, and so that's a good way to get started. He had a solid 500, and he had a really surprising 100 backstroke on Saturday. He won a 53.5, which is I think a second and a half faster than he's ever gone. and I can tell you I wasn't expecting that, and it's it's a good thing to see that. And I did nominate him for Swimmer of the Week, so I hope that my fellow coaches vote in his favor this week.
Okay. On the women's side, was there
Yeah,
any
Samantha
standout
Freed
performances?
always produces well. We're able to get her in the 200 freestyle, which I think is actually going to end up being her best event. She won the 100 backstroke as well. She had a real good lead off on her 200 medley relay Friday night. I think she went about a 28.5 on the backstroke leg of that as well. And our whole women's 200 medley relay is a real solid, 4 swimmers across. So I was pleased with that.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add on this week's Coach's
I guess
Corner?
a couple other people that I was happy with. Nick Twork, who's a freshman. He had an interesting incident Friday night in his 1,000. His cap started to fall out, and as a coach, I can't yell at him directly. Tell him to do this. And I was kind of trying to motion him, tell him, just yank it off. And it, in the middle part of his race, it, kind of hampered him a bit. Once it came off, he was able to charge ahead. It was actually a real, fought out win for us and for him. Thomas Bartleman had a real good couple of swims. We put him in the 200 IM on Saturday, which I wasn't sure how he would do. He handled that real well. And a couple of good relay splits as well. The pool record, which I talked about before, that surprised me. I'm happy for those 4 guys. Women's side as well, our distance swimmers. I was pleased with their efforts. Hope Lima, Ashley Kirkhardt, a couple nice swims, and hope to improve upon as we move forward.
Okay, once again, the Bobcats will swim again this Saturday at 1 p.m., Mark, is that correct?
Yes, correct. 1 p.m. Actually, a lot of people have been asking me that. So if you're watching, 1 p.m. at Frostburg State University this Saturday.
Okay, yeah, Bobcat Nation, get down and support the swimmers, make the short trip up to Frostburg. Congratulations to the 200-yard freestyle relay team for breaking a pool record. And until next week, Mark, I appreciate you being
Can I
here.
have one thing?
You sure can.
We are having a spaghetti dinner this Sunday, so if you're interested and you see this, please contact myself or one of the swimmers here. We'll be happy to sell you a ticket. So $7 for adults, $5 for children.
And where's that going to be held at?
It's going to be at the Chapel Hill Methodist Church, I believe,
Okay.
at the across from the fraternity houses there in South Canal Street.
Right, so. Okay, so come out and support the Bobcat swim team with a Italian dinner, and best of luck to you and your team this Saturday at Frostburg, Mark. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
being
Dwayne.
here.